Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Baran. I'm a second grade teacher at Hicks Canyon Elementary School. When I was asked to reflect on these past 2 years, thinking back and just looking at the trials, the ups and downs, the success, and the hardship, I started thinking, the themes that are going on are all the themes in a wonderful novel or a major motion picture. And then it hit me. This story's already been written. This movie's already been made. So if you would, I would love to look at these past 2 years through the lens of Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo. And I do this because I think the ocean is a perfect metaphor for teaching. It is so large and so vast, there's just no way to understand it all, to explore it all. There's so much depth to it. And if you've seen the movie, there's a character in the movie who he lives inside of his reef, and he's safe there. That's where he feels the safest. He knows every single nook and cranny of it. And I think that's a lot like teachers. We all have our own reefs. This is where we feel comfortable. We know our thing, and we don't want to venture out. And just like in the movie, Marlon, the main character, he looks and he says, don't go to the drop-off. And if you go to the drop-off, definitely don't go into the open sea, because it's dangerous. It's unpredictable. And that's how a lot of us think as teachers. We have our reefs, and anything beyond that, it's unpredictable. And if you know the movie, you know that Marlon does finally venture out. And he ventures out in search of his son. And it's not just his son, it's his only son. And I would go so far as to say, his son is his passion. And I don't think anybody would be in this room today if teaching is not your passion. And that's what we've done for these past 2 years. We have set out on a journey in search of our passion. And ladies and gentlemen, we've all faced sharks, just like the movie. And our sharks come in many different forms. For some of us, our sharks are specific parents that you're thinking of right now. They can unfortunately be co-workers sometimes, and I'm sure everybody in this room right now can imagine one specific student that might be a shark in your classroom. And I see a couple people giggling back there going, you know what, Joseph, I've got a whole class full of sharks. And I get that. I absolutely get that. But we face sharks. And ladies and gentlemen, we felt the sting of the jellyfish. We've all felt it. And for me, it's the worst part because those stings are self-inflicted. Those are the times when I feel like I can't measure up, that I'm not good enough, that I just can't get it. It's those times where as teachers, we come up with this great plan that we're going to teach, and we're going to give them that aha moment, and it falls flat in the first 3 minutes. It's those times where I'm ready to look at my video and I'm thinking, I nailed it, this was amazing. And I turn it on and I go, I did that again? Come on, when am I going to figure this out? It's the sting of the jellyfish. And when I think of those two things, and I think of how tiring this journey can be, and how exhausted I get, it makes me look at table number 7 over there. Because table number 7, as my co-workers, they have my mentor. And if you've seen the movie, this is my family of turtles. These are the folks, when I'm too exhausted, when I do not know which way the current's going, they're the folks that pick me up, throw me on their back, and they took me further than I could have ever gone on my own. Thank you. And I'm sure each person here has their own set or family of sea turtles. You all can look around the table or think of somebody at your school site that has picked you up, thrown you on their back, and just taken you further than you ever thought you could go on your own. Now, all of these things lead me to Cotsen. Because to me, Cotsen can only be one single character in this movie. And this character, for me, it signifies a catalyst of change. And that's what Cotsen is for me. This particular person in the movie is a pelican named Nigel. And some of you may remember the pelican because the pelican comes up to our main character and he looks at him and says, "Get into my mouth if you want to live." And it's funny. It's a great line, makes you laugh. But if we look below the surface, if we look at what is actually happening here, we have a fish. And there's a pelican talking to a fish. And for the fish, a fish has been conditioned to not get eaten. That's what its whole life is about. Two fish come and swim by each other. Hey, how's your day? Well, I haven't gotten eaten yet. That's a good day. Fish, no, just don't get eaten, and your day is going to be okay. And yet you have this pelican walk over and say, get into my mouth if you want to live. It's the exact opposite of a fish's comfort zone. It's the exact opposite of what you would think is best for you. And yet when I heard about Cotsen, I heard mentorship, and I'm in. I heard they're the way to get from good to great and excellent. And I'm thinking, oh yes, I'm in. And then I heard, and they're probably going to have a mentor come in once or twice a week to your classroom and watch you teach. They're going to record you at least once a week. And I went, because I think for a lot of teachers, at least for me, that's not what I've been conditioned as the comforting thing. That's not what's been conditioned as what's okay. The only time somebody comes into my room is to judge. It's to find out, is he doing his job? And that wasn't the case with my mentor. That wasn't the case with Cotsen. That was a catalyst of change for me. And it's been unbelievable. Unbelievable. And over these past 2 years, because of Cotsen, because of the trainings, because of the things that I have learned more about my teaching profession in the past 2 years than I ever thought possible. But most importantly, I've learned more about myself, what I can handle, how to reflect, how to attack problems. And for that, Mr. and Mrs. Cotsen, I need to say thank you. Thank you so much to the Cotsen Foundation. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's my hope that as I continue through my teaching profession, that I can become a Nigel for other faculty members at my school, that I can take what I've learned and be a catalyst of change for others. And in pure Cotsen fashion, I just have to look at, okay, what's next? How do I tackle it? So thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you.